Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the induction banquet for the class of 2024 into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. I'm Colonel Retired Rob Lashbrook, and I am, as always, very honored to be the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's events. I hope so far you all have had an enjoyable Saturday. We've had some football to watch today, some good football, maybe not some good football. We won't talk about the Army Ole Miss game too much, but I will mention Army Air Force today. The 8-0 now Army Black Knights defeated the Air Force Falcons at Michie Stadium. Go Army! We've got an amazing program for you all tonight, and to start it off, please stand if you don't mind, and remain standing if you can for the invocation by Chaplain David Whitty of the Arkansas Army National Guard, the presentation of colors by the Arkansas Military and First Responders Academy, the United States Marine Corps Junior ROTC, and the Conway Firefighters Pipe and Drum Corps, the national anthem performed by Miss Tina Adams, the Pledge of Allegiance led by Command Sergeant Major Retired Stephen Veazey, and the POW MIA Remembrance Ceremony presented by board members Major Charles Adkins, U.S. Army Retired, and Sergeant Earl Wright, U.S. Army Retired.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here this evening to honor those who have served so valiantly. You, Lord, first provided us with an example of service when you sent your only begotten Son, Jesus, into the flesh to suffer and die as a ransom for many. You did this for us so that we could in turn serve you and our neighbor that you so wonderfully created. And not just our neighbor, but this great state and nation that you have so wonderfully blessed. This evening we give all glory and honor to you for your love and peace. Bless this food that we are about to partake in and the hands that prepared it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
Would you pledge with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry, go. Ready, cut. Forward, march. Over, third. Go. Ready, good. Forward, go. Up.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you entered the banquet hall this evening, you may have noticed a small table to the right of the stage in a place of honor. It is set for one. This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our military continue to be missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs and MIAs, but we call them comrades in arms. They are unable to be with us this evening, and so with the help of the Conway firefighters, pipe and drum, we will remember them. The table. Oh, please repeat the word remember after me. This table, set for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressor. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single red rose displayed in a vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who have kept the faith awaiting their return. Remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on the vase is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breast of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. Remember. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. Remember. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of their families as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home from their captors to the open arms of a grateful nation. Remember. Remember. Please stand for the playing of taps, followed by Amazing Grace. Please be seated.
That national anthem was amazing, was it not? I'm sure I'm turned on. Oh, here we are. So, the POWMIA ceremony is a taste to recall why we're here. But let's remember that the conflicts that we're talking about tonight, that the inductees have participated in, conflicts continue, and we need to continue to keep in mind our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines around the world. The world's a dangerous place. We have crisis in the Middle East, of course, with Israel, Gaza Strip, and Iran, the war in Ukraine, Chinese aggression with Taiwan in the South China Sea. That's part of the world we live in. It's the part of the world we'll live in forever. And it's important for us to remember it takes the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that we're talking about here that are in this room and that are being honored tonight to keep the world safe. So I like that we keep that as part of the theme of this evening as we honor these heroes. Arkansas was only the 10th state in the nation to establish a State Veterans Hall of Fame in 2010. And to tell you a little bit more about the direction of the Military Veterans Hall of Fame and to introduce our dignitaries is the chairman of the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame, Mr. Dwight Witcher.
Once again, good evening. Probably help, wouldn't it? Good evening and welcome to our 2024 induction ceremony for the class into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Tonight we have representatives from about every medal you can think of, up to and including Medal of Honor recipient that was earned his medal in World War I. For whatever reason, he had been looked over, even though he qualifies as an Arkansan in the bylaws for the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame, so we'll be inducting him here tonight. Excuse me, and then he will be enshrined on a newly updated Medal of Honor monument at the state capitol grounds next year. So you're going to hear his incredible story later, and I encourage you to look him up on the internet, because what we're going to tell you here tonight is just a little bit of what he went through. I know I'm going to miss some dignitaries if I start trying to call everybody's name, but the main people here to honor tonight are the recipients, are the inductees into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. The class of 2024, as I said, is an incredible group of men and women, but we have been doing this since 2011. So I know there are some people in here, in this room tonight, who were previously inducted into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. So if you're here and you're an inductee into the Hall of Fame, if you can, please stand and be recognized. If you can't, just raise your hand. Yeah, several of them. Thank you so much. Have a seat. This event is just an incredible labor-intensive event. And we have 12 board members that work tirelessly from starting next month. After this meeting tonight, we'll start on next year's event. So I want to recognize our board members. Gentlemen you saw out at the ticket, one of them that you saw out at the ticket booth, check-in stand, our vice chairman, Mr. Angel Guzman. Where are you at, Angel? There he is. Ken Summers is hiding over here in the corner. He's our IT expert. Thank you for all of the technology that took place here. Jason Duvall, our treasurer, also back. You saw him briefly at the ticket booth. Joel Burgess, USMC, where you at, Joel? There you are. Tina Davis, patriot extraordinaire and one of the best, there she is, one of the best board members we've ever had. Paul Garrett, another old jarhead, right over there. Keith Green, where you at? There he is, board member extraordinaire, covers the western part of the state for us. Then Roger Rickard, he's around, there he is. He's not gonna stand, he's just gonna raise his hand. Anita Walker, where are you hiding, Anita? There she is. And then Irwin Wright, who you met over here doing the POW-MIA table. Give these folks a big round of applause. They work, these people, in a 12-month period, they will drive thousands of miles, spreading the word about this organization, encouraging people to submit nomination packets, asking for money. We're a 501(c) organization. We get no funds from anyone other than donors. And these people, even though they drive and drive and drive, they never receive a penny in reimbursement for gas or lodging or food, anything they do for this organization. So you will see on the table, each table has an envelope there for donations. If you feel fit to help us continue this effort, please feel free to put $1 or $1,000 in there. It doesn't matter, whatever you got in your wallet. Last year you heard us talk about, if you were here, a proposed display we had at our War Memorial Stadium. You see it on the slides up here. That was a dream last year. I'm here to tell you now that it is a reality. We acquired the money. We worked super closely with state parks. And if you're ever at or near that stadium, go to Gate 7 and take a look at this thing. It is incredible. It's 8 feet tall, 19 feet long, and it goes back, all the recipients all the way back to 2011 is on there, and it'll be updated every year. And I want to introduce the guys right now that put that monument up on one very hot Friday afternoon. They're sitting over here at table 26. You guys stand up. You see them, thank them again for me. The centerpieces you see tonight, I want to tell you, if you enjoy them, the lady's going to kill me, but I'm going to give you their names anyway. My wife, Louise Witcher, and Paul's wife, Ann Garrett, put all of these together. And I'm going to tell you a little bit later on about how you can be the proud owner of one of those. And if somebody across the table from you takes it first, then go to another table and get it. But they will be for sale at the end of the meeting, and I'll tell you how to do that. I think we're about ready to start our meals. The staff is going to bring some carts right down the middle here. You guys enjoy your meal, and we'll see you after you get done eating. Robert? Thank you, quiet. You bet.
But before we enjoy our meal, I just want to mention the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame is raffling a weekend stay at the Mountain Harbor Resort in Hot Springs. Those of you that know that resort, they know it's a beautiful, beautiful location, not far from Little Rock. Tickets for that raffle can be purchased in the hallway here. $10 for one ticket and $20 for 3 tickets. So we're going to take about 45 minutes here to enjoy our dinner. And again, thanks for being here. I ask that all inductees please try to eat as soon as you're served so that we can get you up here on stage for the formal part of the evening. Enjoy your meal. Please continue to eat if you are not finished, but if you could address your attention to the stage, I'd ask you to join us in recognizing and honoring the outstanding Arkansans of the 2024 Hall of Fame class who have been selected by an independent committee of veterans, chaired by a general officer, and approved by the Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Our first inductee this evening. Medal of Honor recipient Daniel Richmond Edwards, United States Army. Daniel Edwards was born on 9 April 1897 in Moorville, Texas, and is a graduate of the Columbia University School of Journalism. He enlisted in the United States Army as a private on 6 April 1917, the day the U.S. Army entered World War I. He was sent to France as a member of the 1st Infantry Division, and he performed the actions that earned him the Medal of Honor, the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, and a multitude of other medals and honors. Edwards is considered one of the most decorated infantrymen in World War I. Edwards also volunteered for and briefly served in World War II and ended his military career as a major. He married and lived in the Bronx after World War I, where he was a member of the Comeback Club, an organization for disabled and returning veterans. After completing his time serving his country, he moved to Mena, Arkansas with his wife, Mary Heine Edwards. Daniel and Mary had a daughter, Mary Lynch, twin boys, Richmond Edwards and Macon Edwards, and another son, Jeff Edwards. Edwards then moved to Royal, Arkansas, where he worked as a fishing guide on Lake Ouachita in the later years of his life. Daniel Richmond Edwards passed away on 21 October 1967 in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Edwards' Medal of Honor citation reads as follows: Private First Class, U.S. Army, C Company, 3rd Machine Gun Battalion, 1st Division, near Soissons, France, 18 July 1918. General Orders, War Department. Reporting for duty from the hospital where he had been for several weeks under treatment for numerous and serious wounds, and although suffering intense pain from a shattered arm, he crawled alone into the enemy trench for the purposes of capturing or killing enemy soldiers, known to be concealed therein. He killed 4 of the men and took the remaining 4 men prisoners. While conducting them to the rear, one of the enemy was killed by a high explosive enemy shell, which also completely shattered one of PSC Edwards' legs, causing him to be immediately evacuated to the hospital. The bravery of PFC Edwards, now a tradition in his battalion because of his previous gallant acts, again caused the morale of his comrades to be raised to a high pitch. Accepting this award is Daniel Edwards' son, Richmond Edwards. Mr. Edwards, we are humbled by your father's gallantry and service to our great nation and welcome him into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame.
Thank you, sir.
Lieutenant Colonel Leonard George Anderson, Jr., retired United States Army. George Anderson was born on August 28, 1944 in Bauxite, Arkansas, and he was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Army Infantry on 12 August 1966, where he then attended airborne school. In July 1967, he was assigned to A Company, 2nd Battalion, 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade, 101st Airborne Division for his first tour of duty in Vietnam, where he earned a Silver Star. Sometime after the completion of his first tour of duty in 1968, he attended Rotary Wing Aviator School, where he became a helicopter pilot. In May 1971, he returned to Vietnam for his second tour as a Cobra platoon leader with C Troop, 3rd Squadron, 17th Air Cavalry Regiment. During his time in the Army, Lieutenant Colonel Anderson received many awards and medals to include the Silver Star, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star with 1 oak leaf cluster and a V device, Purple Heart with 1 oak leaf cluster, Meritorious Service Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster, Air Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster, Army Commendation Medal with V device, Army Commendation Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, and many other service campaign medals and badges. Mr. Anderson retired as a lieutenant colonel on 31 August 1988. Since his retirement from the Army, he serves as an emergency services, medical services helicopter pilot at Vanderbilt Flight Department from 1989 until 2007. In February 2007, he joined the CIA and conducted 36 trips of 60 days each in Afghanistan and 4 trips of 60 days each in Iraq, flying Mi-17 helicopters on tactical night operations under night vision goggles. Mr. Anderson's civilian education includes a Bachelor of Science in Education from Henderson State University, a Master of Science in Systems Management from the University of Southern California. And Lieutenant Colonel George Anderson, Jr., thank you for your remarkable service to our great nation. It is an honor to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Major General Patricia Marie Anslow, retired United States Army and National Guard. Major General Anslow was born on 16 February 1967 in Troy, New York. She has been a trailblazer for women throughout her military career, accomplishing many firsts. In 1989, she was commissioned as second lieutenant in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers upon graduating from the United States Military Academy at West Point, the 10th class graduating women. Among the first 800 women to graduate in history. She is the first individual in her class from West Point to be promoted to general officer and the first female promoted to general officer in Arkansas Army National Guard. In 1993, Major General Anslow transitioned to the Arkansas Army National Guard and began her diverse career as a military and civilian engineer, serving 29 years as a citizen soldier and with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in a male-dominated engineering career field. A highlight of her career was commanding and deploying the 875th Engineer Battalion during Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2006-2008. The battalion transitioned to a route clearance mission and integrated multi-state National Guard, Reserve, and active duty subordinate units into the command. The battalion provided corps-level route clearance and served as the only engineer battalion supporting the 3rd Infantry Division during the surge operations in 2007. The battalion built patrol bases and cleared over 1,500 improvised and explosive devices, saving thousands of lives. The unit also advanced many IED defeat techniques and procedures. Major General Anslow was awarded 3 Defense Superior Service Medal Awards, 2 Legion of Merits, Bronze Star, and the Combat Action Badge. She completed her career as a Deputy Combined Rear Area Coordinator for the U.S. Forces Korea. Here are some of General Angelo's firsts. She was the first operations officer of a combat engineer battalion in the entire U.S. Army. Selected as the first National Guard officer and the first female to serve as Chief of Staff, U.S. Southern Command. First female to command the Institute Support Unit, Headquarters, Company, Arkansas National Guard. First female to serve as Deputy Chief of Staff for Engineering, Joint Forces Command, Arkansas National Guard. First female to serve as the Chief of Staff for the NATO forces in Kosovo, Pristina, Kosovo. General Angelo, your career has been magnificent and inspiring. Thank you for being a powerful trailblazer for women in the Corps of Engineers in the U.S. Army. You're a role model for women everywhere, and it's an honor for us to induct you in the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Corporal Gregory Thomas Beck, United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! Corporal Beck was born in Texarkana, Arkansas on 2 August 1950. He enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps 1968 after graduating from Genoa High School. Is it Genoa or Genoa? Genoa. Genoa, thank you. He trained at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina as a motor vehicle operator. Immediately following his training, he was sent to Vietnam, where he was assigned to Headquarters Battery, 4th Battalion, 11th Marine Regiment, 1st Infantry Division, 4th Marine Division. His unit engaged enemy combatants in Operation Pipestone Canyon from 25 July 1969 through 7 November 1969. Mr. Beck was honorably discharged in December of 1970. He went on to work at the International Paper Mill as an apprentice in 1973. After 41 dedicated years, in 2014, he retired as a lab technician. From there, he continued to serve his country through mentorship, aid, comfort, and comradeship for his fellow brothers and sisters in arms. Greg Beck is a well-known and respected community leader, where he is actively involved in multiple organizations, including President of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 278, Senior Vice Commander, Disabled Veterans of America, number 222, Member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, number 4562, Judge Advocate of the Marine Corps League, number 1149, and Board Chairman of the Texarkana Community Veterans Engagement Board. After the plans for the Korea-Vietnam Monument of Texarkana to remember those MIA and KIA and the four-state area of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma fell through, Greg and other veterans took the reins and finished the project within 5 years. In 2018, through the Vietnam Veterans of America number 278, Greg pioneered the Wagons for Veterans annual fundraiser. Over $64,000 in counting has been raised and spent thus far to help pay for utilities, home repairs, wheelchair ramps, food boxes, etc. for veterans in need. Greg has initiated and spearheaded every annual local veteran information fair for the last 25 years. Greg has driven numerous functions to raise funds for the purchase of a disabled American veterans van, which provides free transportation for veterans to and from the VA Medical Center in Shreveport. He cultivated patriotism with the Texarkana Rotary Club Flag Project. He places and gathers hundreds of 3x5 flags throughout the Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texas communities 6 holidays a year, every year. He successfully advocated to rename a bridge in honor of Zanaya Creamer and Kyle Stout 2 local fallen soldiers in Afghanistan. In addition to what he has done for our veterans, he also built a local law enforcement memorial to honor officers fallen in the line of duty. Mr. Beck, your dedication to your fellow veterans and the community is something we should all be inspired by. It is an absolute honor to welcome you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Accepting the honor on behalf of Greg Beck is Tom Ornberg. Lieutenant Colonel Harold N. Chafin, U.S. Army Air Forces, missing in action, killed in action. Born in Sebastian County, Arkansas on November 28, 1913. In 1938, Harold Chafin enlisted in the United States Army Air Forces after graduating from Fort Smith Community College, later graduating in Class 39A at the U.S. Army Air Corps Advanced Flying School, Kelly Field, Texas. During World War II, Lieutenant Colonel Chafin flew B-17 Flying Fortress, becoming one of 12 men flying their B-17s into Oahu during the attack on Pearl Harbor. He could not manage landing at the extremely damaged Hickam Field, going on to land his B-17 at Halawa Strip, an unpaved airfield only intended as an emergency landing field for smaller fighter aircraft. This extraordinary landing merited being awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. General Douglas MacArthur bestowed the award upon him himself. He continued to serve the United States in the war, helping with the evacuation of General MacArthur from the Philippines. Lieutenant Colonel Chafin was then assigned to Headquarters Squadron, 5th Bomber Command in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea in 1943. On March 26, 1943, he and 11 other men left on a flight to Horn Island, Australia. No one on board the flight was ever heard from again. And it is unknown whether the bomber they were flying was shot down or it was an accident. Colonel Chafin was posthumously awarded the Purple Heart after officially being declared killed in action on 19 November 1945. Colonel Chafin is memorialized on the Wall of the Missing in Manila, Philippines. Colonel Chafin, you are not forgotten, and we honor your sacrifice to our nation. It is a pleasure to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Accepting the award on your behalf is Abigail Preston. Lieutenant General George Crocker, United States Army, retired. George Crocker was born in 1943 in Dardanelle, Arkansas, to Bill and Adele Crocker. He is an only child and named after his maternal grandfather. He spent his childhood in and around the Dardanelle-Russellville area. After graduating from Russellville High School in 1961, he attended the University of Arkansas for 1 year before being appointed to the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1962. Commissioned as a second lieutenant after graduating in 1966, he attended Ranger School at Fort Benning, Georgia, and was subsequently assigned to the 9th Infantry Division deployed to South Vietnam. He was a platoon leader in 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment in 1967. He was soon awarded the Silver Star while leading his platoon on a successful night mission on 3 May 1967. In September 1970, Captain Crocker began his second tour of Vietnam, serving as advisor to the Army of the Republic of Vietnam, ARVN, 42nd Ranger Battalion, based at Can Tho. During his tour, he was wounded in the head by a sniper bullet and later contracted typhus. Captain Crocker was sent back to the U.S. for recovery and returned a few weeks later as an aide to Lieutenant General William McCaffrey. General Crocker spent the early 70s with the 7th Army in Erlangen, Germany as a battalion ops officer and commanded an infantry company. In 1974, he attended Command and General Staff College and then attended a master's degree program in Duke University in 1975. In 1976, he became a TAC officer at West Point. General Crocker commanded the 1st Battalion, 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment during its invasion of Grenada. In July 1985, General Crocker became the operations officer of the 82nd Airborne Division. In 1986, he attended the Army War College, and from 1995 to 1996, General Crocker served as the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division. In 1986, he attended the War College, and from 1995 to 1996, he served as the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division. In 1996, General Crocker was promoted to Lieutenant General and then assumed command of 1st Corps at Fort Lewis. General Crocker retired from active service in September 1999 with 33 years and 5 months of active duty service, and he currently resides in Clinton. During General Crocker's military career, he was awarded the following medals: the Distinguished Service Medal Army, 2nd Award, Silver Star, Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit, 3rd Award, Bronze Star with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Purple Heart, the Meritorious Service Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters, the Air Medal, 2nd Award, Army Commendation Medal, 3rd Award, National Defense Service Medal, 2nd Award, and the Vietnam Service Medal, 4th Award, the Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross with Unit Citation with Palm, the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal. Please help me celebrate the induction of Lieutenant General Crocker into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Sergeant First Class Terry Evans, United States Army retired, Arkansas Army National Guard. Sergeant First Class Evans was born on 8 April 1974 and began his military career on January 11, 1992 with the 2nd Battalion, 153rd Infantry Regiment, Arkansas Army National Guard. In October 1993, Sergeant First Class Evans entered active duty and was assigned to the 3rd Battalion, 187th Infantry Regiment, Iron Racassans, 101st Airborne Division, Fort Campbell, as a rifleman and machine gunner. After he was discharged from active duty in November 1996, Terry transferred back to the Arkansas Army National Guard and was assigned to the 2nd of the 153rd Infantry Regiment. During his assignment, he deployed in support of the Sinai mission in Egypt. In 2001, he transferred to the 1st Battalion, 114th Aviation Regiment, where he served as a crew member and mechanic. He transferred back to the 39th Infantry Brigade in 2004 to serve as a replacement during its 2004-2005 deployment to Camp Taji, Iraq. In 2006, Sergeant First Class Evans began preparations for redeployment to Iraq as a section sergeant in Bravo Company 1st 185th Assault Helicopter Battalion. During his deployment, Sergeant First Class Evans was involved in the Easy 40 incident, where a sister aircraft was shot down north of Baghdad and 14 service members had lost their lives. For his actions that day, Sergeant First Class Evans was awarded the Air Medal with V device. Sergeant First Class Evans redeployed again to Iraq in January 2011 through November 2011. While assigned to the 77th Theater Aviation Brigade, he has served as a mechanic, crew chief, section sergeant, platoon sergeant, and first sergeant. He has received multiple military awards and decorations throughout his military career, to include the Combat Infantryman's Badge, the Combat Action Badge, Senior Aircrew Badge, Air Assault Badge, the Excellence in Competition Rifle Badge, and the Excellence in Competition Pistol, the Meritorious Service Medal, 4 Army Air Medals, including the V device, the Arkansas Military Cross, the Arkansas Exceptional Service Medal, the Order of St. Michael, multiple Army Commendation Medals and Army Achievement Medals, campaign medals, and ribbons. As a civilian, Sergeant First Class Evans has worked for the Kensett Police Department, Kensett, Arkansas, from 1999 to 2001, and from 2009 to 2011 as a federal technician with the Arkansas Army National Guard, Major General Wilson Army Aviation Support Facility from 2014 to 2020, and currently works for the Arkansas Department of Forestry. Sergeant First Class Evans is married to Leanne Evans of Cabot, Arkansas. They have 1 daughter, Briley Evans, and 1 son, Thomas Evans. Their family currently resides in Judsonia. Sergeant First Class Evans, thank you for your service to the state and the nation, and it's a proud day to call you a friend and indeed an honor to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert Lynn Fowler, United States Army, retired. Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert Lynn Fowler was born on January 7, 1949 in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Colonel Fowler started his military career at Arkansas State University as a member of the ROTC program. After graduating from Arkansas State in 1971 with a Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Lieutenant Colonel Fowler had an outstanding 28-year military career. During his career, he was the commander of the 318th Military Intelligence Detachment and the 343rd Public Affairs Detachment, as well as the Public Affairs Officer for the 90th Regional Support Command and the 122nd U.S. Army Command. While serving, Colonel Fowler received his master's degree in journalism from the University of Mississippi and his PhD in journalism from Southern Illinois University. He was awarded the following medals during his career: the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, 2nd Award, the Army Achievement Medal, 2nd Award, the National Defense Service Medal, 2nd Award, and many other service medals. Colonel Fowler has also had an exemplary civilian career. His civilian and veteran advocacy programs and accomplishments are the Employee Support for the Guard and Reserve Program, Arkansas chapter, where he won Outstanding Volunteer 3 times. He is the faculty advisor to Arkansas State University ROTC program and advisor to the Professor of Military Science at Arkansas State University. Colonel Fowler is an Arkansas State University ROTC Hall of Heroes member, and he is a member of his local Military Officers Association of America, where he has worked to promote the annual golf tournament, which raises more than $15,000 annually to fund veteran scholarships. He was a member of the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame Selection Committee. What? He proudly volunteers for Wreaths Across America each year and worked with Brooklyn Pine Log Cemetery to place flags on veterans' grave sites during Wreaths Across America Day. Colonel Fowler volunteered with the Veterans Suicide Prevention Project, where he worked to recruit participants and study issues related to mental health of veterans and suicide prevention through the ASU Beck Center. He is the president and founding director of American Business Leadership Institute, established at the request of the Lahore Institute of Higher Learning in Pakistan to help their students and businesses learn to function in an ever-changing environment. Colonel Fowler has been named Distinguished Alumni, Arkansas State University, Arkansas Journalism Educator of the Year by the Arkansas Press Association, and received the Pioneer Award from the Southwest Education Council for Journalism and Mass Communications. Many, many more to list than that, and we are proud, Colonel Fowler, and honored to have you here and to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Staff Sergeant Daniel Fritz Hall, United States Marine Corps. Another double dog. Staff Sergeant Daniel Fritz Hall was born on January 21st, 1943 in Amity Township, Pennsylvania. He enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in 1960, serving more than 9 years, including a brief tour of duty as security at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and participated in the 1962 Cuban blockade. After serving in Vietnam, he returned with drug-resistant malaria and was discharged after recurrent episodes. He attended special training in federal corrections and serves as a correctional counselor and brig warden prior to his discharge. Staff Sergeant Hall's military medals include the Combat Action Ribbon, the Presidential Unit Citation, the Navy Unit Commendation, National Defense Service Medal, and the Vietnam Service Medal with Bronze Star. After military service, Dan served as a deputy sheriff and coroner with the Imperial County Sheriff and as a field training supervisor with the San Diego Police Department, where he earned 2 commanding officer citations and 1 life-saving award. After his first retirement, he moved to Mountain Home, Arkansas in 1990, where he volunteered his service to Baxter County as a judge on the Tax Equalization Board and assisted the county sheriff with the reorganization plan before accepting a position as the sheriff's lieutenant and commander of the special services, where he wrote a plan to close the dangerous, antiquated jail and build a new corrections facility through a revenue bond issued, avoiding the need for tax increases. He supervised a part-time law enforcement training academy, the only such program in Arkansas with college credit awarded by ASU. In 2004, he was elected Baxter County Judge and served 2 terms before retiring. He served as chairman of the Mountain Home Leadership Institute, helping to educate and encourage interest in effective community leadership. Mr. Hall is a life member of the Disabled American Veterans, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the AMVETS, and the Vietnam Veterans of America, and is a member of the American Legion. He was elected as commander of the Arkansas Department of Disabled American Veterans in 2014 and served as legislative officer for the department. He assisted the Secretary of Arkansas, Department of Veterans Affairs, in implementing a strategic plan to decentralize and create 9 district offices standardizing county veteran services, officer training, and improve access to military services for veterans. He concurrently served as military and veterans liaison, Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. Faced with the tragedy of veteran suicides in his area, Mr. Hall wrote a proposal to create a community-based public health approach to suicide prevention and was joined by fellow DAV member to create a grant application to Columbia Trust administered by the DAV National Service Foundation to help with expenses. Their efforts helped reduce suicide rate by 35% in 2 years. They created a nonprofit U.S. Veteran Outreach Program and were invited to participate in Together with Veterans Rural Veteran Suicide Prevention, and have since helped reduce the veteran suicide rate in their county by 76%. This community organizing effort established a priority in the agency's daily work to reform the way we think about veteran suicide. And the several billboards around the community are a daily reminder that the suicide is a public health issue to be continually addressed. Baxter County's positive results convinced the County Budget Committee to create a line item in the county budget allowing the county judge to contract for services with the U.S. Veteran Outreach, a first in Arkansas. The outreach has brought dozens of veterans into VA healthcare system. Mr. Hall is retired for the second time in 2009, and after his retirement, he completed his bachelor's degree and his master's degrees. Mr. Hall currently resides in Gassville, Arkansas. Dan, at 80 years of age, tirelessly continues his advocacy. He speaks to audiences around the state, and he offers training for various groups. Daniel Fritz Hall, thank you for your remarkable service to our community of veterans. It is truly an honor to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Corporal James Laverne Harbottle, United States Army, killed in action. Jim Harbottle was born February 14th, 1948 in Hartford, Arkansas. In 1960, the family relocated to Flagstaff, Arizona, where Jim graduated from the Flagstaff High School in 1966. Jim was a man of God, so much so that in 1965, Jim felt called by God and earned a license to preach. Jim Harbottle, as an E4 Army Corporal, promoted posthumously, had been in country less than 4 months when he died in battle at Ben Chui in Vietnam. The following information was provided by his close friend and fellow soldier who survived that day. On the morning of August 21st, 1968, C Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Mechanized Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division, left Dao Ting Base Camp and entered Ben Cui Rubber Plantation. A North Vietnamese Army division was known to be in the area, and we were assigned the task of entering Ben Cui to act as support, search, and destroy with other elements of the 1st Battalion, 5th Mechanized Infantry Regiment. At about 11 a.m. on the 21st, we came into contact with the enemy and assaulted their position. We had entered an ambush by 33 North Vietnamese regulars and an unknown number of Viet Cong. Soon after the battle started, the company was receiving fire from 3 sides. The enemy had opened with small arms fire from the ground troops and snipers, but we were quickly evolved into RPGs, heavy automatic weapons, and mortar fire. The company was taking casualties from almost the first shot. PFC Harbottle was a rifleman with the company and had a very forward position. The first man down was the platoon leader, followed by the squad leader. At that point, without direction, PFC Harbottle took it upon himself to do the things he had been trained to do. He ignored the enemy fire to defend his fellow soldiers, and he exposed himself numerous times to get the wounded to safety. PFC Harbottle took up a defensive position to help repel the enemy, but as more and more members of the company were injured, his actions were directed towards getting those injured to cover. While ignoring the withering fire of the enemy, he tended to the wounded and helped carry them to the armored personnel carriers for transport and cover. After carrying one wounded to cover, he left the relative safety of the APC with his M16 to protect his fellow platoon mates. He fought valiantly during the battle and was instrumental in saving lives that day. Without his effort, many more would not have made it out. He was fatally wounded, but his spirit and inspiration to those around him were strong. He put his own safety behind the need to help those injured. In the 50-minute firefight, Company C had 6 APCs destroyed, 17 men killed, and 21 wounded. Harbottle was one of the 17 soldiers killed. Greater love hath no one than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. John 15:13. Accepting this award is James Harbottle's niece, Christy Segrest, who is also a veteran. Your uncle's sacrifice will not be forgotten, and it is a great privilege to induct him into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame.
Yes. Is he here?
Sergeant Major Randall Scott Jernigan, United States Marine Corps, retired. Sergeant Major Randall Scott Jernigan was born on October 5th, 1958 in New Middleton, Ohio. Coming from a single-parent home, he and his siblings, raised by his mom, struggling to make ends meet, he knew early on the military was his best option, especially when the steel mills in his hometown were closed. Sergeant Major Jernigan enlisted in the Marine Corps in September 1976 and retired in January 1999. During his 23-year Marine Corps career, he deployed to Somalia, was part of Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and earned the following medals: the Meritorious Service Medal, Navy Commendation Medal, Navy Achievement Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, United Nations Medal, Armed Forces Service Medal, Southwest Asia Service Medal, Kuwait Liberation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, and the Good Conduct Medal. After Sergeant Major Jernigan retired from the Marine Corps, he started on the path of helping young boys become young men, leading the Catholic High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC program. Taking on the role of a father figure as well as instructor, he developed a cadre of students who became the state's most sought-after color guard. During the Gold Star Family Monument Memorial Fund fundraising efforts, each JROTC unit in the state was challenged to a competition to see who could raise the most funds. Catholic High School, under Sergeant Major Jernigan's leadership, not only outperformed all other units in the state, there was no one else even close. In total, they raised over $21,000, 10 times more than their closest competitor. Many of his students have gone on to outstanding military careers, several graduating from the military academies. The work ethic and personal pride instilled in these young men will last their lifetimes and become a generational inspiration. Upon joining the Catholic High faculty in 2008, Sergeant Major Jernigan began driving ROTC cadets to compete in and win in every possible arena: close order drill, marksmanship, fitness, cyber defense, academic challenges, can drives, toys for tots, you name it. There are countless trophies adorning the JROTC spaces that attest to his and the unit's success over his years. In addition, Sergeant Major Jernigan has led the unit to 6 Marine Corps Reserve Association Outstanding Unit Awards, Catholic High's JROTC unit has been recognized as a Naval Honor School every year of Sergeant Major Jernigan's tenure. And of course, it is well known that Sergeant Major Jernigan has coached the Catholic High physical fitness team to 9 of its 11 national championships. No small feat for a small private school in Arkansas. There are well over 400 Catholic High alumni, former JROTC cadets whose lives were significantly and positively impacted by Sergeant Major Jernigan. That never say quit drive, that can-do attitude, and that I never saw a competition I couldn't dominate competitiveness, that always there for you presence, that personable and approachable leadership style. That is Sergeant Major Jernigan. He is currently the JROTC instructor at the Arkansas Military and First Responders Academy in Little Rock, a tuition-free military and first responders college preparatory academy. With all the work taking his cadets to various functions around the state and nation over the years, he has accumulated over 40,000 hours of community service. Sergeant Major Jernigan, your 23 years of service to your country and more than 25 years of service to our youth is inspiring. You have given each one of your students a gift that they will carry for a lifetime. It is an honor and privilege to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Sergeant First Class Randall Lloyd Harvey, United States Army, killed in action. Sergeant First Class Randall Lloyd Harvey was born in February 18, 1931. His hometown was Paragould, Greene County, Arkansas. Sergeant First Class Harvey was a professional soldier in the United States Army from 1951 until his combat-related death in 1969. At the time of his death, Sergeant First Class Harvey was an infantryman assigned to D Company, 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade, 101st Airborne Division. Sergeant First Class Harvey died on March 8, 1969, of wounds resulting from a landmine explosion at Thu A Tin near Hue, South Vietnam. During his combat tours in Vietnam, Sergeant First Class Harvey participated in the counteroffensive Phase 6 campaign, 1968 and 69, and the Tet 1969 counteroffensive campaign. Sergeant First Class Harvey's military awards and decorations include the Silver Star, the Bronze Star Medal with V device, an oak leaf cluster, and the Purple Heart. He also earned the Combat Infantryman Badge, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Cross Gallantry Palm and Medal, and the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal. His Silver Star citation reads, "The President of the United States, as authorized by Congress, takes pride in presenting the Silver Star posthumously to Sergeant First Class Randall Lloyd Harvey, United States Army, for gallantry in action while engaged in military operations against an armed hostile force in the Republic of Vietnam on 8 March 1969. Sergeant First Class Harvey distinguished himself while serving in Company D, 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. At approximately 17:30 hours on the cited date, Sergeant Harvey was leading a road clearing patrol through low coastal plains near Hue, Republic of Vietnam. His patrol consisted mainly of soldiers who were not combat veterans, which necessitated his being near the front of the patrol. While searching along the road, he was leading his men around a small open area where an undetermined sized enemy force initiated contact. At this time, he set the example for his patrol by charging the enemy. The enemy force was completely routed from its positions by the surprise assault and fled in all directions. Sergeant Harvey, despite the direct enemy small arms fire, encouraged his men to pursue the enemy as they withdrew. At this time, a tractor near Sergeant Harvey tripped a landmine. The resulting blast wounded him in both legs and his left arm. Though severely wounded, he continued to direct his troops until he became unconscious from loss of blood. Sergeant First Class Harvey's personal bravery and devotion to duty were in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. We want his family to know that it is a distinct honor for Staff Sergeant Randall Lloyd Harvey to be inducted into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Accepting the award on behalf of Sergeant Harvey is board member Erwin Wright. His award will be forwarded to his family in Germany. Randy Dale R.D. Kinsey, United States Air Force, deceased. Randy Dale R.D. Kinsey was born on 19 November 1952 in Miami, Florida, and passed away on July 11, 2022 in Sherwood, Arkansas. Randy R.D. Kinsey, a service-connected Vietnam veteran having served in the United States Air Force and was honorably discharged in 1972. Kinsey began his civil service career in the late 70s in Miami, Florida, serving fellow Vietnam veterans by assisting them in obtaining their VA benefits. His initial purpose was to assist military veterans who had served and been disabled during the Vietnam War. In time, after relocating to Arkansas in 1980, his vision expanded into assisting any veteran in navigating the VA system to receive the maximum benefits for which they were qualified. Kinsey was impressively successful in helping veterans and their families. In 2003, he began laying the groundwork, and in 2004 was instrumental in founding the Michael Van Johnson Jr. American Legion Post 74 in North Little Rock. He served as the founding commander of Post 74 and held that position for 14 years. While under his leadership, Post 74 became well-known and well-respected statewide and was instrumental in helping numerous veterans and their families receive much-needed and earned VA benefits. His compassion for veterans was seen in the establishment of Post 74's annual Tribute to Fallen Heroes ceremony, a memorial event held every spring since 2006. The tribute honored Arkansas service members killed in Iraq and the related conflicts, along with their Gold Star families. His love and respect for the fallen heroes and Gold Star families also motivated his commitment and untiring work with the Marine Corps League in promoting and raising funds for the Gold Star Monument now gracing the Arkansas State Capitol grounds. In 2018, Kinsey was elected as the American Legion Commander for the Department of Arkansas. He was honored to serve as the first African-American commander in history of the Department of Arkansas. Concurrently, Kinsey served as the National Legislative Commission for over a decade. Locally, Kinsey served as the VP of the Arkansas Veterans Coalition. He was the 2022 and 23 president-elect of the Arkansas Veterans Coalition. Service was a God-given gift, and Kinsey considered his work with the county's veteran communities as the way to continue serving his country, community, and fellow veterans. For well over 45 years, Kinsey was an active member and officer of the International Masonic Lodges and attained the 33rd degree, the highest degree in Masonry. He served as founding worshipful master and Order of the Eastern Star Worthy Patron, and as the National Grand Master for the Gulf Coast jurisdiction. Kinsey was named the 2018 Sherwood Veteran of the Year. He was the founding president of the Sherwood Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association and a member of the Sherwood Civil Service Commission. In 2021, then Governor Hutchison appointed Kinsey to serve on the Arkansas Medal of Honor Commission. Accepting this award on his behalf is his wife, Diana Kinsey. Diana, we see Dale's love and dedication to our veterans, and his lifetime of service to others is truly appreciated. Everyone, please help me induct Randy Dale R.D. Kinsey into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Master Sergeant Jimmy Charles Leonard, United States Marine Corps, retired. Master Sergeant Jimmy Charles Leonard was born on May 12, 1947 in Newport, Arkansas. Leonard began his service in the Marine Corps in 1965 and ended his career in April 1986. There is much to be said about Master Sergeant Jimmy Leonard, but I think his daughter Darlene's words say it best, and I quote, "I have heard for years that my dad has been the recipient of the Bronze Star for Valor. The definition of valor is great courage in the face of danger, especially in battle. This is my father. How many people can say that their dad is an American hero? I stand proud when I hold my hand up and say I can. He has always been my hero, but one day I asked him what all those medals were for on his chest. He said, because I was asked to do a job. This one here with the green and yellow, it tells people that I was in Vietnam. This one here is my 4 Purple Hearts. See, when I was doing my job, I got hurt several times, and the president gave me these medals." Then he went on to tell me how he held off a whole unit of Viet Cong while the rest of his battalion escaped to safety. But he does not talk much about his experience over there. Darlene continues, "This is just one example of his courage. Another example is to be the father of 2 daughters. He has disciplined us when we needed it, but more times than not, he has been there to hold our hands and guide us as friends through our life. Master Sergeant Leonard has been awarded the following: Bronze Star, 2nd Award, and V Device, Purple Heart, 4th Award, Navy Unit Commendation, Vietnam Service Medal, 3rd Award, National Defense Service Medal, 3rd Award, Combat Action Ribbon, Good Conduct Medal, 6th Award, Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, 2nd Award, Presidential Unit Citation, Republic of Vietnam Cross with Frame and Palm, Republic of Vietnam Cross, Color Action with Frame and Palm, and the Meritorious Unit Commendation. The following is Master Sergeant Leonard's 2nd Bronze Star citation. Bronze Star for Valor. Corporal Jimmy Leonard served with the 1st Marine Division, 1st Battalion, C Company during Operation Medina, October 1967, in the National Forest on the DMZ. The Marines faced a formidable North Vietnamese Army force. The fighting continued all day and night and included hand-to-hand combat. On 5 occasions that night, Corporal Leonard exposed himself to hostile fire in order to acquire a better position to lay down fire and allow casualty retrieval or to personally retrieve casualties. Corporal Leonard is credited with 29 confirmed kills. Corporal Leonard's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon Corporal Leonard, his unit, and the United States Navy. Darlene, your words about your father truly express his love of country, his fellow Marines, and his family. Master Sergeant Leonard, for your exceptional service, it is an honor to induct you into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Staff Sergeant Denver Bull Randleman, United States Army, deceased. Staff Sergeant Denver Bull Randleman was born on November 20th, 1920 in Rector, Arkansas. He left Rector during the Great Depression looking for work and ended up in a foundry in Michigan. He enlisted in the U.S. Army on August 19th, 1942 in Kalamazoo, Michigan, shortly after the United States entered World War II. Staff Sergeant Randleman was a non-commissioned officer in the famed Band of Brothers Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Bull's training originated in Camp Toccoa, Georgia in August 1942, and on June 6, 1944, Bull, along with the rest of the 101st, the 82nd, and the British 6th Airborne, parachuted into France, eventually regrouping with Easy Company after missing their landing zone. During Operation Market Garden in September 1944, Bull was separated from his unit and was injured in the shoulder during a tank explosion. Unable to return to his lines, he spent most of the following night hiding in a nearby barn beside a German soldier he had killed. During a search by members of his unit the following day, Bull was found and his men believed him to be killed in action. But Bull later participated in the Battle of the Bulge and survived to end the war, attaining the rank of Staff Sergeant. According to former Easy Company Commander Major Richard Winters, Bull was one of the best soldiers he ever had. The National World War II Museum co-founder Stephen Ambrose said about Bull, as a member of Easy Company, he made his first combat jump on D-Day and fought in several major battles in the European theater, including Operation Market Garden and the Battle of the Bulge. Randleman also participated in the occupation of Germany and in Austria. He was awarded the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, and the Presidential Unit Citation. Bull was honorably discharged from the Army on September 21st, 1945. After the war, he attended trade school and eventually became a service manager for Caterpillar Equipment, the J.A. Riggs Tractor Company. Later, he married Vera, and they had 2 children. He became a successful businessman and was superintendent of a construction contractor in Louisiana. He was also a Mason. Bull spent the last years of his life in Texarkana, Arkansas. Staff Sergeant Randleman died at the age of 82 on June 26, 2003. Randleman was portrayed in the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers by actor Michael Cudlitz. He is survived by his niece, June Randleman Snow. June, please know it is our sincere honor to induct Staff Sergeant Denver Bull Randleman into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Colonel Doris Cordell Vest, United States Air Force, retired, deceased. Colonel Vest was born on April 16, 1932 in Sidney, Arkansas. His journey from Sidney to his educational pursuits at the Moark Baptist College and Southwest Missouri State College reflects a life dedicated to both education and service. Being a member of Sidney Baptist Church further underscores his strong ties to the community and faith. He joined the U.S. Air Force on October 29, 1952, commissioned as a second lieutenant. He attended the Southern Airways School, Bainbridge Air Base, Bainbridge, Georgia, and he graduated from the University of the Philippines as a first lieutenant on 16 December 1956. DC, as he was known to his fellow aviators, left an indelible mark in the world of jet fighter community. His mastery of aircraft such as the F-84, the F-86, the F-100, and his favorite, the F-4, showcased his exceptional skill and leadership. Here are some remarkable aspects of his career. He was a combat flight commander, fighter weapons instructor pilot, and technical film contributor. DC demonstrated exceptional dedication and courage during his foreign service assignments. He has been deployed to Korea, the Philippines, England, Vietnam, and Thailand. Between his two deployments, one to Vietnam in 1966 and one to Thailand in 1972, Colonel Vest flew a total of 366 combat missions. DC received a remarkable array of military honors and decorations throughout his military career. These awards include exceptional service and valor awards and commitment to duty like the Korean Service Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, 4 awards, the Air Medal, 25 awards, the Bronze Star, the Distinguished Flying Cross, 7 awards. And prior to his deployment, Colonel Vest served as the base commander at the Little Rock Air Force Base in Jacksonville. His leadership and dedication left a lasting impact on the base and its personnel. After his retirement, DC continued to serve, this time as sergeant in the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office in Little Rock. His commitment to public service remained unwavering. Beyond his professional life, he was a devoted father, a cherished grandfather, and a friend to all. DC's passion extended beyond law enforcement. He lovingly tended to his herd of many ponies, pouring his heart into their care each day. His compassion wasn't limited to ponies. It also encompassed all his beloved dogs, as well as the occasional stray that found its way to his barn door. His legacy lives on through the lives he touched and the dedication he showed to both his community and the animals he loved. DC's legacy lives on through his remarkable achievements and unwavering commitment to aviation excellence, and his memory continues to inspire those who knew him. For a lifetime of service to this great nation, it is an honor to induct Colonel Doris Cordell Vest into the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Accepting the award on behalf of Colonel Vest is Carol Griffin. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is complete. Please congratulate the 2024 members of the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. And now, Chairman Dwight Witcher for some concluding remarks.
Well, what do you think? Pretty nice, huh? You know, none of this, the board can do all administrative stuff we want, but it's all for naught unless you folks find those family members, those loved ones, those neighbors, those whoever they are, learn about their history and send those nomination packets in. And you've done an excellent job of that. I want to thank you personally for that. Because, like I said, without it, you know, we're just out here kind of twiddling our thumbs. We had a total of, how many, Ken? 50? How many packets this year? 40 something? 49. We have to whittle that down to 15. This year we snuck one in, the Medal of Honor Recipient, which is automatic. So we have 16, but we have to cut by our bylaws, we have to cut that down to 15. And it's not easy to do, but please, please keep searching out those family and friend stories and getting them to us. Because that is what this is all about. As I've mentioned earlier, the centerpieces, but there is an envelope on the table. I'm not going to beg for money, but if you have some that's just burning a hole in your pocket, drop it in that envelope. We'll take care of it. But if you wish to have one of these centerpieces, stick a donation of however much you think it's worth to you, and please take it. We don't have to haul these back home. So just take it, vase and all. Just flowers, vases, and enjoy the scene around your house for the next few days. We have the raffle. Jason, we have the raffle. We've had tickets out here on sale for a weekend at Bernie's? No, weekend at Mountain Harbor Resort. And we're going to draw that. Is this the winner? No? Okay. Wow. Okay, and the winner is, hey, look, it's me. No, I'm kidding. Ticket number 933-1498. Who's got it? 933-1498. Where? Ricky, give it. Go out there and collect your prize, Rick. Rick is one of the guys that put our Hall of Fame display up at War Memorial Stadium. So, if you will, please stand while we retire the POW-MIA table. Thank you. Now, if you're proud to be an Arkansan, or if you're proud to be an American, join with us in singing Lee Greenwood's great song. You got that word up there for us, Ken? And a little music.
Stars to
turn back on here. So we've had an amazing, are we on here? Yeah, there we go. So we've had an amazing evening. I'm not sure if I'm on or not. Where my mic go? There we go. Now we've had an amazing evening, have we not? Hey, every time I do this, I will tell you we do it better and better and have more and more amazing inductees and guests. So thank you all for participating tonight. Thank you for coming out and participating in this great event. And I'd like to thank our board members who made it possible. For members, you can still have your photos taken if you want to, and all the inductees will receive a video copy of tonight's banquet. Finally, after we're adjourned, please come forward and congratulate tonight's most deserved inductees, and be careful driving home. But before you do, I'd like to have you all stay rised for the benediction by Chaplain Whitty.
Let us pray. Dearest Jesus, we thank you for each of the individuals honored here this evening. We thank you for their courage, their resilience, and their heart for freedom. Lord, you have blessed this nation in so many ways in our continual struggle for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Help us all to continue to fight for what is right, what is decent, and what is kind. And Lord, be with all of our brothers and sisters who this night continue to fight for freedom around this world and here in America. Be with everyone as they travel home tonight. Keep them safe. And we give all glory to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Our board members, we still need to have our group photo taken over here before we start ripping off neckties.
Hey guys, can I get the front row?